Introducing your 2011 AAA Blues. Defenseman, number 2, Patrick Komodowski. Defenseman, number 19, Emerson Minimin. Forward, number 21, Mason Blanchard. Forward, number 27, Grant Fugner. Forward, number 29, Ian Bowers. Goalie, number 30, Max Stutzer. Goalie, number 31, Luke Scanapieko. Forward, number 66, Braden Schneider. Forward, number 85, Gordon Crowley. Forward, number 88, Luke Wessel. Forward, number 91, Jonathan Zilm. Forward, number 93, Ben Spatansky.
Okay, let's go.
All right, coming to you from Centene's USA rink tonight. The Blues will take on Carshield in the first game of a 3-game series for the Missouri Hockey State Championship. Blues will start tonight's game with Huebner, Schneider, and Harris at forward. Brooks and Malachi Smith on defense. Scramble draw picked up by Harris at the red line. He tries to carry across the blue line, gets it poked off his stick. Malachi Smith back to retrieve it. He goes to his deep partner, Brooks. Brooks tries to outlet. It's knocked down by Carshield at the blue line. They shoot it deep into the blue zone. Harris and Brooks to get it in the corner. It's shot out of the zone by the Blues, picked up by a Carshield defenseman, and then shot back into the blue zone. Stusser stops it there. Brooks tries to chip it around a Carshield player, gets knocked down. They maintain possession at the blue line, pressured by Schneider. Thrown deep into the zone. Huebner picks it up, goes up the wing to Schneider, who kicks it out of the zone. Carshield back into their own end. Grab the puck. They outlet up to Barth, who carries across the blue line. Hit there by Wessel. Tomadowski picks up the puck behind the net, flips it up the boards to Blanchard. Blanchard gets it to Stefanski. He's got it knocked off his stick. But Blanchard, who gets it up to Wessel. Wessel's got Stefanski and Blanchard with him. Blanchard gets taken down in the middle of the play. No call. Tomadowski over to Miniman. Miniman flings it deep into the Carshield zone. Picked up on the near boards by Wessel. Carshield dumps it out of the zone. Picked up by Como at the blue line. Over to Miniman. He goes cross ice to Wessel. He goes back to Tomadowski. He circles through his own zone, trying to get away from the Carshield forechecker. Skates it up out of the zone now. Tipped into the Carshield in by Mason Blanchard while his line mates go for a change. Carshield goes D to D. That clearing attempt's knocked down by Peterson, who flips it back in before Blanchard could clear the zone, and it's offside on the blue. So we'll have another face-off at center ice. Giorgio, Boyer, and Zill with Peterson and Rubis on the ice for the Blues. Face-off won by Giorgio, back to Peterson. He goes to Rubis. He goes up to Zilm, and it's knocked off of his stick. Blues shoot it deep into the Carshield zone. Forecheck by Zilm. Cut off on the boards by Boyer. He goes back to the point to Rubis, who walks the blue line and goes back to Boyer at the point. He flings it into the near corner. Giorgio takes his guy to the boards. Picked up by Zilm. Zilm goes to Boyer. Boyer to Peterson. Over to his partner Rubis, who flings it towards the net, and that just missed Zilm's stick. Held in at the blue line by Peterson. Giorgio goes to pick it up. He gets it to Zilm. Zilm tries to get it to Boyer. It's just out of his reach. Rubis and Boyer do a good job to hold the zone there. Rubis throws it around the net. Picked up by Giorgio. He goes to Peterson, who flings it into the far corner. Picked up by Bauer just onto the ice. Carshield tries to get it out. Held in by Rubis again. Bauer will go chase it behind the net. Forwards are going for a change. Ian Bowers is coming in the far wing. Giorgio takes it behind the net. Picked up there by Bauer. Picked up by Giorgio again. He circles into the corner, takes a hit, loses the puck. And we got a whistle for something. I'm not quite sure what. I don't know if they thought that puck went out of play or what happened there, but we're going to have a face-off in the Carshield zone. Blues have Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers out with Brooks and Smith. Carshield center gets kicked out, and the Blues win the face-off. Bauer goes back to Smith. He throws it into the far corner, picked up there by Crowley, who goes back up to Smith, over to Brooks. Brooks throws it towards the net. It's tipped on and saved by the Carshield goalie, who gives Bowers a little slash to the ankle as he skates by. Same five on the ice to the Blues. Scramble draws. Goes up to the near board. Picked up by a Carshield player. They try to get it out of the zone. It's stopped by Crowley. It's to Brooks who holds it at the blue line. Carshield eventually gets it out into the neutral zone. Picked up there by Crowley. He gets it to Bowers, who shoots it into the Carshield zone, where it's picked up and flung over the boards by a Carshield defenseman. Another face-off deep in the Carshield zone to their goalie's right. Blues will send out Fugner, Schneider, and Harris with Tomadowski and Miniman for this offensive zone face-off. Fugner wins the draw, goes off Schneider's skate right to the Carshield goalie who covers for another face-off. Another face-off won by Fugner back to Tomadowski. He throws it into the corner, goes behind the net, picked up there by Harris. He circles away from the boards, tries to go cross ice to Miniman, and Carshield deflects that back down into the blue zone. Miniman goes to Harris, who goes to Tomadowski. He'll carry into the neutral zone, cross into the Carshield zone, shoots it behind the net where it's spun around the boards by the Carshield goalie, picked up by Miniman at the far blue line. Throws it behind the net, picked up by Harris. Harris goes back out to Miniman. Miniman shoots it towards the net where Fugner is. Schneider picks up the rebound, goes back out to Tomadowski. He throws a shot wide of the net, picked up by Harris on the other side. He goes back out to Miniman again. Miniman's shot deflects off the Carshield player, and it's picked up by the Carshield goalie. Blues send out a new deep pairing. Peterson and Rubis will join. Now we're going to change forwards as well. So Spatansky, Wessel, and Blanchard come out with Peterson and Rubis for the offensive zone faceoff. Faceoff goes into the far corner, picked up by Blanchard. He goes behind the net to Wessel. Wessel out to the point to Peterson, who goes over to Rubis. His shot is deflected up over the net. Spatansky gets it to Blanchard, pops out to Rubis, who throws a shot on net. It's saved. The rebound sneaks back to the goalie where he covers it up. And another face-off to the Carshield goalie's left. The same five will stay on the ice for the Blues. 10:50 left to go in the first period. Got a bad draw there by the ref. The Carshield center is going to get thrown out again. Face-off. Puck stays on the dot. Blanchard ends up picking it up, gets it back to Rubis, who goes to the center of the ice and throws a shot to the net that gets deflected into the near corner, picked up by Wessel. He goes back to Rubis. Rubis makes a move around the Carshield player. His pass to Peterson is just out of his reach. Peterson goes up to Wessel, but it rolls off his stick back into the blue zone. Puck goes to a Carshield player who tries to flip a shot over Stutzer's shoulder, but hits the side of the net. Carshield maintains possession behind the Blues net. Spatansky and Peterson are there. Out to the point. Shot blocked by Spatansky. Wessel puts a hit on Carshield player as they spin it around the Blues net. Blanchard pins his guy to the board. Spatansky tries to get it to Rubis. It comes out to Wessel. He carries up the ice into the neutral zone, carries it into the Carshield zone, and they'll go for a line change. Carshield outlets out of the zone. Errant pass picked up by Malachi Smith. He tries to hit Zilm, and it's behind him. Carshield throws it on net from the neutral zone. Stutzer makes a save, and Malachi picks it up. Goes to Boyer. Boyer goes to Brooks, who gets taken down. Malachi Smith throws it out of the zone. Carshield takes over possession, but it's picked off by Giorgio. He comes in with speed. Save made on the backhander by the Carshield goalie. Good job there by the Blues to keep pressure up. But Carshield carries it into the neutral zone and they flip it deep into the blue zone. We're going to have an icing there, so I guess he didn't gain the red line. Blues keep Giorgio, Boyer, and Zilm out with Tomodaski and Miniman. Carshield wins the faceoff. They go around their own net. Shot up the boards, held in at the point by Miniman. He throws it towards the net where it's deflected wide by the goalie. Boyer picks up the puck on the near wing. Shot on net by Tomodaski. Rebound pushed into the corner again. Boyer puts a hit on Carshield as they carry out of the zone. Good back check by Giorgio causes them to lose the puck to Tomodaski. The Miniman up to Giorgio. He carries into the Carshield zone, gets taken down as he cuts to the net. Carshield takes possession. They'll carry it up to the red line. They dump it deep. Back is Tomodaski to get the puck. He goes to Miniman. Miniman tries to go up the boards. The winger had gone for a change, though. Good job by Giorgio to tie up the Carshield player. Puck's loose behind the Blues net. Giorgio hits another Carshield player, and they get it up the boards to Bauer. His pass is picked off by Carshield. Good job by Giorgio to cover right there. He's tied up behind the net. Tries to go to Tomodaski, but he's held up. Puck finally pumped out to Miniman, who goes up the near wing to Bauer. Carshield shoots it back out of their zone, and they'll dump it deep into the Blues end. Picked up by Rubis. He tries to reverse to Peterson. Good job by Crowley. Help there. Bauer goes to Bowers, who carries it into the Carshield zone. He drops it to Rubis, who carries it to the net. Oh, loose puck right there at the top of the crease, but Carshield pushed it away to the slot. Peterson throws it down around the net. Carshield tries to clear it up the boards. It's held in there by Rubis. He's got a clear path to the net, but he trips. His shot goes just wide, and Carshield tries to clear it up the boards again. Held in at the blue line by Peterson. He carries it down the wing, drops it off there for Crowley. Crowley goes to Bauer, who throws it behind the net to Bowers. Bowers gets it to Crowley, who's tripped up. No call. That may have been Ian Bauer's stick that tripped him. Carshield shoots it deep, but not far enough for icing. Picked up by Peterson. Peterson goes up to Schneider, who tips it into the Carshield zone. He'll chase after it on the forecheck with Hubner. Puck's held in at the blue line, and then it pops out to Harris. Harris goes to Brooks. Brooks goes to Malachi Smith. Up to Hubner. It's just out of his reach. Collision there by Brooks and Barth at Carshield. Puck's picked up by Harris. He goes to Brooks. Brooks will take it back into his own zone. Gets it up to Hubner. Hubner to Harris. Carries over the blue line. Cuts to the net. Backhander shot on and saved by the Carshield goalie. We'll have another face-off deep in their zone. Still no score. 6:09 left in the first period. Carshield's going to get kicked again because their wingers keep going into the circle before the puck drop. Hubner, Schneider, and Harris with Brooks and Smith. Carshield wins the faceoff, takes it behind their own net. They try to rim it around the far boards. It's held in by Malachi Smith. His pass to Hubner is picked off, and Carshield dumps it into the blue zone where it's chased after by Brooks. He's got a Carshield player on him, helped out by Hubner. Hugner and Brooks are going to battle for it with two Carshield players. Brooks carries it out from behind the net. He goes up the wing to Harris. Harris gains the blue line. He'll try to cut to the net again, throws it towards the net, and that's once again covered by Carshield. So another face-off in the offensive zone. Stefanski, Wessel, and Planter with Tomodachi and Miniman. Face-off is won by Carshield. They carry it out of their own zone across the red line, and it's dumped deep. Chased after by Tomodachi. He picks it up there, reverses to Miniman. Miniman goes up the far wing to Blanchard. He gets the red line and dumps it deep. Wessel will go in on the forecheck. Puck's cut off by the Carshield goalie. Stefanski blocks a clearing attempt. He tries to backhand it to Blanchard, and it's picked off. Carshield's clearing attempt just sneaks over the blue line, but it's held in by Tomodachi, who gets it over to Miniman, who dumps it deep. Cut off by the Carshield goalie again, and here comes Carshield breaking out of the zone, but they'll gain the red line and just flip it deep. It's cut off by Stutzer, and he covers for a faceoff. Blues send Tunney out there, so Stefanski, Blanchard, and Russell are joined by Peterson and Rubis. Face off, one to the boards. Peterson gets taken down. Tansky and Peterson go for the puck. Tansky gets it up to Peterson. Peterson goes to Blanchard, who backhands it to Wessel. Wessel gets the red line, tries to get it to Rubis. It's knocked down though, and Peterson dumps it behind the net. Blanchard in on the forecheck. He's helped out there by Wessel. Wessel's got a guy over on the near boards, chases him into the corner. Carshield reverses again. They go up the far wing and get it out of into the neutral zone where it's picked up by Rubis. He goes to Peterson, who backhands it into the Carshield zone. Cleared right back out. Carshield tries to chip around Peterson. Stopped there. Shot back out to the red line where Carshield chips it back into the blue zone. Picked up by Rubis. Rubis goes to Peterson. Peterson up the boards to Wessel. Wessel chips it to Stefanski. He backhands it to Rubis, but it's deflected into the corner. Shot by Rubis is saved by the goalie. Stefanski went for the rebound, but was met by two Carshield players and pushed away. Now Carshield's going to carry out to the neutral zone to get to the red line and backhand it into the blue zone. Stutzer sets it up for Brooks, who gets it to Boyer on the wing. He'll carry with speed into the Carshield zone. Pulls up on the wing, gets it out to Brooks. Brooks goes back to Boyer. He tries to tip it to Giorgio, gets it to him on the second try. Another backhand pass to the center. Finds nobody, but it's picked up by Boyer. Boyer's pass to Giorgio is just out of his reach. Boyer gets it to Smith at the blue line, who dumps it behind the net to Zilm. Zilm tries to go to Giorgio in front. He's tied up. Sent out to Malachi Smith at the point. They're tied up on the far boards. Goes behind the net to Giorgio. He gets it to Zilm, and it's pushed into the corner. Zilm and Boyer pulling it around. It comes out to Brooks at the near point. He goes back around the net, hops over Zilm's stick back there. Giorgio chases after it. He gets tied up. Boyer picks up the puck, gets it to Smith. His shot gets deflected. Rebounds put on net by Giorgio, saved by the Carshield goalie. Carshield chips it up and out of the zone. The Blues come back in with speed. Brooks with a shot on net is caught and held by the goalie. We'll have another face-off deep in the zone. 2:20 left in the first period. The Blues have Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers out with Tomodachi and Miniman. Blues win the face-off, put a quick shot on net. Puck picked up in the corner by Bauer. He tries to come around and put a shot on net. That gets deflected up into the glass. Crowley and Bowers battle for it in the near corner. with two Carshield players. Bowers comes away with it, pops out to Crowley. His pass up to the point gets picked off. Tomodaski goes to Miniman, but it goes deep into the blue zone where Miniman's taken down in the corner. Tomodaski gets it around. Bauer tries to go up the wing to Crowley, but it's past him. Carshield throws it deep into the blue zone where it's retrieved by Miniman. He spins it around to Crowley on the wing. Held in at the blue line by Carshield. They put a shot towards the net, goes over the net, and all the way around to Brandon Bauer. He carries into the Carshield zone, tries to find a pass to Bowers, and it's picked off. Carshield carries out of their zone to the red line. Pass to the far wing. Shots deflected and saved by Stutzer. Rubis gets it up to Bowers, who gets it back to Rubis, who carries across the red line into the Carshield zone. He's got Fugner and Peterson with him. Gets it to Peterson at the point. Peterson walks the line, looks for a tip. The rebound's put behind the net by Fugner. He carries it out, finds Peterson along the near boards, gets it to Schneider. He's got a lane. Good drive there by Rubis, but his stick was lifted while he tried to shoot, and it gets put out into the neutral zone. Peterson to Fugner, back to Peterson, up the wing to Schneider. He chips it into the Carshield zone and comes right back out to Peterson. He'll fire it down and around the net where it's stopped by the Carshield goalie. Schneider puts on pressure there. He and Harris try to get the puck behind the net. Carshield spins it around the zone, comes up to the point, held in by Harris. Around the boards to Schneider. Schneider pulls it off the boards, tries to go to Fugner. It's out of his reach. Brooks pinches from the blue line, goes behind the net, has it checked off of his stick, but goes to Schneider. Schneider's got it along the near boards, and that'll do it for the first period. All right, we're back for the second period. Blues will send out Stefanski, Blanchard, and Wessel with Brooks and Smith. Face off won by Carshield. They go D to D in their own zone. Back to D again. Outlet pass is picked off by Stefanski. He tries to chip it into the Carshield zone and it's cut off. Carshield dumps it into the blue zone, goes behind the net. Brooks is tied up there. Stefanski puts a hit on, separates somebody from the puck. Brooks goes up to Blanchard, and Carshield chips it back into the zone offsides.
Kristen, you can take a night off.
Same 5 on the ice for the Blues. Face off won by Carshield. They get it back to the D, and he shoots it into the blue zone. Shot put on net for the bouncing puck, saved by Stutzer. They'll hold on for a face-off. Face off won by the Blues. Smith goes to Brooks. Back to Smith in the far corner. He looks for an outlet pass. Goes back over to Brooks. Brooks takes it behind his own net up the wing to Blanchard. Blanchard tries to tip it. Bounces over his stick. Carshield keeps it in the zone. Batansky will pick up the puck in the near corner. He goes to Smith behind the Blues net to Wessel. Wessel finds Batansky. He and Blanchard break out 2-on-1. Blanchard gets it to Batansky, who's held up. Gets a backhand. Great save by the Carshield goalie. The Blues maintain possession as there's a delayed penalty on Carshield here. Puck bobbles out to the neutral zone. Blanchard gives it to Miniman. Still a delayed penalty on Carshield. The Blues shoot it on net, and it's saved by the goalie. Blues will have a 2-minute power play coming up here as Carshield's called for a hook. So 14:36 left in the second period. First power play of the game for the Blues. Still no score. The Blues send out Giorgio, Boyer, and Phil with Kamadoski and Miniman. Face off won by Giorgio. Back to Miniman. He walks the line. Gets it over to Giorgio. Giorgio goes down to Zoom. Back to Giorgio. He goes to Miniman at the top. Back to Giorgio. Giorgio tries to go to Como. It's blocked to Boyer. Boyer goes back to Giorgio. The top Miniman. Miniman goes back to Giorgio. He tries to make a move around the Carshield player and stopped. Sneaks by Boyer as he tried to hold it in at the point. Puck's tied up at the red line. Boyer battles with Zilm and Giorgio. Pops out to Giorgio. He goes to the near boards to Kamadoski. He tries to go to Boyer, and it's deflected by a Carshield player. Boyer goes to Miniman. Miniman will dump it deep into the Carshield zone. Played by their goalie there. He goes around. It comes out to Zilm. Zilm goes to Kamadoski. They'll switch places with Miniman. Homo goes over to Giorgio. Giorgio over to Kamadoski. He goes to the top to Miniman. Miniman over to Giorgio. He finds Boyer in the middle. Puts a shot that goes just wide. Rebound by Zilm. Is put back towards the net. And Carshield goalie makes a save, and it's frozen under his pad. 46 seconds left in the Blues power play. They'll send out Hugner, Schneider, and Harris with Rubis and Peterson. Another face-off to the Carshield goalie's right. Face-off won by Carshield. They throw it into the far corner. Loose puck picked up by Schneider. He goes to Rubis at the point. He makes a move around one. Goes over to Schneider at the dot. His shot goes off the crossbar. Carshield ends up chipping it past Rubis at the blue line, and the Blues will have to reset. Peterson goes up to Schneider. Schneider to Harris, but he'll carry in as Fugner was in over the line. Offsides on the Blues. 21 seconds left in the power play. Face-off won by Carshield. It goes all the way down behind their net, chased after by Harris. Carshield flings it off the glass. It goes out to Peterson, to Schneider, to Fugner. Fugner around the net finds Harris. Harris to Rubis. His shot's deflected high over the net, picked up by Schneider. Schneider to Peterson, back to Schneider, to Fugner behind the net. He goes to Harris. Carshield penalty is over. Rubis has the puck in the slot. He spins away from one defender, gets it over to Harris, the near wing. He dances around another one, tries to go to Peterson, but it's out of his reach and comes out of the zone. Peterson goes to Harris. His pass to the far wing to Schneider. Schneider spins it around the net. Hugner's in on the forecheck. He's helped out by Harris, but the puck's chipped around them by Carshield. They carry across the red line and dump it deep into the blue zone. Stutzer will fire it around the corner up to Schneider. Schneider goes to the near boards to Harris. It's behind him, and Carshield takes control. They try to chip it out. It's saved by Rubis, kept in the zone. Rubis makes a move around one, puts a shot just wide over the goalie's shoulder. Malachi Smith pinches and holds the puck in at the far boards. But his dump comes all the way out of the zone, picked up by Brooks in the blue zone. He goes to Smith. Smith finds Bauer on near wing. He goes over to Bauer. Crowley with a good move, a lot of speed, but he didn't have an angle and tried to tuck it back in, and it's saved by the Carshield goalie. So still no score. Another face-off to the Carshield goalie's left. Blues have Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers with Smith and Brooks on the ice. Another bad drop here. I'm not sure what the whistle is for. I guess Crowley is going to get kicked out of the draw this time. Bauer in to take it. Puck goes into the corner, picked up there by Crowley. His passing attempt is deflected up and out of play. So we'll have another face-off down in the Carshield zone. Same five on the ice for the Blues. Puck's tied up off the draw. Crowley tries to go to the point. It's deflected up again. Bowers gets the puck, throws it towards the net, and it creeps out of the Carshield zone. Smith dumps it back deep where it's cut off by the Carshield goalie. He spins it around the boards, held in by Brooks. His dump's caught by Bowers, who finds Crowley in the middle. Smith tries to throw a shot on net. That's blocked. Goes behind the net. Carshield dumps it deep and out of the zone, and that'll go all the way down the ice for an icing. Blues will send out Spatansky, Blanchard, and Wessel with Komodowski and Miniman. Face off won by Carshield into the corner. They throw it behind their own net. Blanchard's in on the forecheck there. It's picked up by Spatansky. He gets checked down, but the puck pops out front to Wessel. His shot saved. Blanchard gets a rebound. His rebound saved. And now we've got a scrum in front of the net. So two good saves there by the Shield goalie is going to lead to another offensive zone faceoff for the Blues. Same five will stay on the ice. Face-off won by the Blues back to Miniman. He tries to dump it into the opposite corner, and it's deflected. Tansky holds it in the zone. He spins away from a hit, gets it to Blanchard. Blanchard goes to Wessel. He's tied up on the near boards. Carshield gets it out of the zone. Goes off Komodowski's stick back into the blue zone. He'll circle around his own net. Goes up the boards to Wessel. Wessel tries to get it to Spatansky, who has his stick lifted. Komodowski gets it to Miniman. He dumps it into the zone. Carshield tries to chip it up the boards. It's stopped by Blanchard. The clearing attempt held in by Wessel there. He tries to center it to Spatansky. It goes to Miniman. His shot saved by the Carshield goalie's mask. And Carshield backhands it out of the zone, but not deep enough for icing. Picked up by Komodowski. He carries up the ice with speed, makes a move around one, gains the blue line into the Carshield zone. He puts a net off the Carshield goalie's shoulder, held in at the blue line by Rubis. He makes a move, goes to the center of the ice. Giorgio just on the ice. He throws a shot that's just wide of the net. Comes all the way around to Rubis, who holds in at the point. He throws a shot towards the net, deflected up and over the glass by Zoom. So a lot of pressure here by the Blues, but still nothing to show for it. We'll have another face-off. Giorgio, Zilm, and Boyer on the ice with Rubis and Peterson for the Blues. Face-off won by the Blues. Boyer goes to Rubis, who goes D to Peterson. Back to Rubis. His shot towards the net. Blocker save. Another rebound by the Blues. Put on net. Saved by the Carshield goalie. And he'll cover for a face-off. Same five stay on the ice for the Blues. Face off one into the corner by Carshield. They try to rim it around, fanned on it, so they try to chip it up the boards. It's held in by a pinching Rubis. Now Boyer holds at the blue line. Zilm on the forecheck. Heavy pressure. He picks up the puck. He gets tripped, and he'll draw another penalty on Carshield. Good forecheck there by Boyer, and Zilm create the turnover, and Zilm's taken down as he tries to put a shot on net. Blues send out Fugner, Harris, and Schneider with Rubis and Peterson to start the power play. 8:41 left in the second. Scoreless game so far. Draws tied up. Puck's kicked to Schneider by Fugner. He goes to Peterson. Up to Rubis at the top. Rubis goes to Peterson. He'll draw a defender. Go back to Rubis. Rubis takes up ice. Throws a shot towards the net. Hits Fugner in front. Carshield's able to chip it out of his zone, but it goes into the Blues bench. And we'll have another face-off deep in the Carshield zone. Blues will send two new D out. Smith and Brooks join Fugner, Harris, and Schneider. Minute 41 left in the power play. Not sure what the delay is here. Carshield coaches are talking to one of the refs, and now he's over at the scores box. Now the ref talking to the Blues coach, and it looks like we're ready to play again. Discussion might be over whether or not we're going to straight the Zamboni will come out probably after the second period's over. Blues win the face-off. Back to Brooks. He goes over to Smith. Back to Brooks. He goes back to Smith at the top of the umbrella. Goes to Harris. One time pass to Smith. He goes over to Brooks. Brooks back to Smith. Back to Brooks. He puts a shot towards the net. Fugner gets tied up there. Carshield tries to clear it. Goes straight to Brooks. Smith will take up space. Gets it to Harris. Harris, his pass is deflected into the slot. Picked up by Brooks. He goes behind the net to Fugner. Fugner goes to Harris on the near wing. Up to Smith at the top of the umbrella. He goes over to Brooks. Brooks to Harris, and he scores. Power play goal by Braden Harris, assisted by Linus Brooks and Malachi Smith. Blues take a 1-0 lead, 7:40 left in the second period. Blues will send out Stefanski, Wessel, and Blanchard with Miniman and Komodowski. Draws a scramble, goes back to Carshield's D. That pass is deflected by Wessel. It goes into the far corner. Chased there by Stefanski and Wessel. Carshield goes up the wing. They backhand it to the center ice where it's picked up by Miniman. He goes to Komodowski, back to Miniman. Miniman tries to go cross ice to Wessel. It's picked off by Carshield. They bring it into the blue zone, goes into the corner, up the boards to Blanchard. Blanchard and Stefanski are tied up there. Miniman comes in to help out. Carshield comes away with the puck. They get it up, and Carshield scores a goal. 1-1. There was a delayed penalty on the Blues there. I'm not sure who that was going to be on, but Carshield scores to tie it at 1. Blues will leave Stefanski, Wessel, and Blanchard out there. They're joined by Rubis and Peterson. 7:01 left in the second. Carshield dumps it into the blue zone, picked up by Rubis. He goes up the near boards to Blanchard. Blanchard goes to Stefanski. He has a hard time being possession of the puck and backhands it into the zone. Cleared all the way down the ice by Carshield, and that'll be an icing. Blues Wessel is going to get a penalty here for elbowing. So the Blues will be on the penalty kill for 2 minutes as Wessel gets an elbowing penalty. It was an icing on Carshield, though, so the faceoff should not be in the blue zone. Should be in the neutral zone. Blanchard's out with Stefanski, Rubis, and Peterson on the kill. Blanchard wins the faceoff to Peterson. He goes around the far boards, held in by Carshield. Peterson's got it in the corner. Carshield centers it. Good save there by Stutz. Peterson's got it behind the net. He throws it into the corner. Chased there by Blanchard. Pass blocked by Rubis. He'll carry the puck. He's one-on-one short-handed. Tries to make a move around the defender. He goes to Blanchard, but it's behind him. Carshield carries out of the zone. They go up the wing, carried into the blue zone. That pass deflected by Stefanski. Carshield's got it along the near boards, and Rubis will flip it up and out of the zone. Carshield retreats into their own end, back to their own red line. Tipped by Carshield. Thrown back, beat by Rubis, just as Stefanski cleared the zone. Forecheck by Giorgio. Carshield tries to go up the wing, missed a pass, picked off by Smith. He throws it to the far wing, and it's picked up. Here comes Giorgio. That shot was saved by Stutzer all the way out of the zone. Picked up by Giorgio. He throws a short-handed shot on net, saved by the Carshield goalie. We'll have a face-off to his left. Blues short-handed for another 16 seconds. 5:25 left in the second period. Blues have Giorgio and Zilm out with Brooks and Smith. Face-off tied up, won by the Blues. Zilm goes back to Smith. He throws a shot wide of the Carshield net. They just flip it out of the zone. Picked up by Smith. He chips it up the boards, or it's picked up by Zilm. He's tied up with two Carshield players. To Giorgio over to Smith. He gets it to Brooks. Brooks chips it to center ice. The penalty is over. Giorgio gains the blue line. He's into the Carshield zone. Tries to make a move and gets stopped there. Boyer gets the puck back to Brooks. He shoots it behind the Carshield net. Another turnover by Carshield. Shot comes all the way around to Smith at the near point. He goes to Boyer. Boyer maintains possession, goes far point to Brooks. His shot is saved by the goalie, steered into the corner. Back up to Brooks, tipped on net by Giorgio, saved by the Shield goalie. 4:31 left in the second, 1-1 game. The Blues send out Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers with Miniman and Kamadoski. Face off won by the Blues to Kamadoski. His shot's blocked. Carshield pushes it forward. Picked off their stick by Kamadoski. Goes to Miniman. Miniman back to Kamadoski up to Crowley. He gets around one. Dumps it into the Carshield zone where it's held in there. Carshield's D goes D to D. Outlet pass up the center of the ice. Carshield's in 3-on-2. They put a shot wide. Tipped out of the zone by Bowers. Picked up by Crowley. He's in 2-on-1 with Bauer. Tries to go to Bowers. Shot on net by Ian Bowers is saved by the goalie. Miniman pinches, throws it deep into the zone again. Picked up by Crowley. It's poked off of his stick. He goes to Ian Bowers on the near boards. He'll throw a shot off the goalie pads. The puck's into the corner. Chip there to the boards. Brandon Bauer is after it with Gordon Crowley. He takes it to the center of the ice, puts a shot over the net, and Carshield puts it up into the stands. 3:26 left in the second period. 1-1 hockey game. Blues send out Hugner, Harris, and Schneider with Rubis and Peterson. Face off won by the Blues. Schneider goes out to Peterson. He throws it around the Carshield net. Harris tied up there, goes into the corner. Schneider and Harris chase after it. Now behind the net. Harris separates the guy. The puck's picked up by Hugner. He spins away from the check. Puck goes to Harris. He goes to the point and it hops over Peterson's stick. Rubis will chase it into the Blues end. He spins it around the near boards up to Harris. Harris tries to go to Hugner and it's knocked down. Carshield picks it off and dumps it into the blue zone. Picked up by Rubis. Goes around the boards to Harris again. He tries to go to Schneider and it's picked off. Hugner's chip is blocked by Carshield. Rubis goes to Hugner up to Harris. And now he'll gain the line with speed. He's got Schneider with him. Spins back. He goes to Rubis on the near point. Rubis dances around one. Puck rolls off his stick. Picked up by Harris in the corner. He goes back up to the point, but it's out of Peterson's reach into the neutral zone. Circles back into his own zone. Comes D to D over to Rubis. He'll throw it all the way down the ice on net, and it's held for a face-off by the goalie. 2:10 left in the second period. Blues send out Spatansky, Blanchard, and Russell with Brooks and Smith. Face off won by the Blues out to Brooks over to Smith. He takes a shot that is caught and held by Carshield's goalie. Wessel will take a little cross check to the back after the play. Same five Blues on the ice. 2:04 left in the second. Face off won by the Blues, back to Smith. He'll go to Blanchard on the near wing, back up to Smith. He tries to put a shot on, it's blocked. Held in at the blue line by Brooks. Over to Wessel. Wessel gets it to Smith. His shot on net, looking for a tip. He makes it all the way through, saved by the Shield goalie. Picked up on the near boards by Spatansky. He goes to Smith. Over to Brooks. He puts a move. Shot on net, caught and held by the Shield goalie. And we've got cross checks going back and forth. Wessel and one of the Carshield defenders who loves to throw cross checks. No change for the Blues. Minute 35 now. Another faceoff win for the Blues, picked up by Wessel. He goes out to Smith at the point, dumps it deep behind the net, chased after by Blanchard and Spatansky. Carshield throws it into the corner, picked up there by Spatansky. He tries to spin off of a hit, gets pinned, gets it to Blanchard, up to Brooks, Brooks to Smith. Smith throws it deep, but it hops back to Wessel. He goes behind the net, maintains possession. He goes cross ice to Smith. Smith throws it towards the net. It's tipped on goal by Spatansky, just over the goal. Picked up by Wessel. He tries to find Spatansky in the slot. Picked off by Carshield, and they carry out of the zone with speed. Good stick there by Brooks. That rebound is put back on net by Carshield. Another save from Stutzer. Wessel carries it into the Carshield zone. He goes to Spatansky at the blue line. Spatansky picks up some speed. He tries to find Zilm, who puts a shot on net. Smith dumps it back into the corner. Zilm picks it up there. He goes to Boyer. Boyer tries to get it to Malachi Smith. Pulls it down back to Boyer. Boyer goes to the Miniman at the point. Miniman to Smith. He throws it down to Zilm. Zilm to the center to Boyer, but it's out of his reach. Miniman picks it up on the far boards. He gets pushed down by a Shield player, and they're able to clear the zone. Big hit there by Boyer as Carshield spins it into the blue zone, and it'll go for an icing. Blues will have 6.9 seconds left here in the second to try to create something at the end of the period. Giorgio, Zilm, and Boyer with Komodowski and Miniman. 6.9 seconds on the clock. Face off won by the Blues to Komodowski. His shot is blocked into the corner. Picked up by Miniman. He throws it to the front. It's tipped on net by Zilm. Saved by the Shield goalie. And Zilm will take another cross check to the chest. So that'll do it for the second period. Zamboni's going to come out. We'll see you in a little while. All right, we're back to the third period. 1-1 hockey game, 16 minutes on the clock. Blues send out Hugner, Schneider, and Harris with Miniman and Komodowski. Face off into the blue zone. Komodowski to Miniman. Miniman up to Harris, who throws it into the Carshield zone. Stopped there by the goalie. Gets it to their D. They spin it around the boards. It's picked off by Schneider. He finds Harris in the middle. His shot saved to the boards by the goalie. Held in by Miniman to Harris. Back up to Miniman at the point. He throws a shot wide of the net. Pinched by Komodowski. Holds it at the blue line. It's picked up by Schneider. He's checked off his stick into the corner. And Carshield flips it out to the neutral zone to Komodowski. He goes up to Hugner. Hugner crosses the red line and backhands it on net. Pops up on the goalie. He'll cover. And a few more cross checks both ways. Blues send out Spatansky, Wessel, Blanchard with Peterson and Rubis. Comes up to the point. Blanchard's got it at the blue line. He goes over to Peterson. Peterson pulls up, gets it to Wessel on the half boards. Back to Peterson. He backhands it. Picked off by Carshield. They'll skate it into the blue zone. Centering pass deflected on net by Peterson and covered by Stutzer. Face off in the blue zone. Same five on the ice for the Blues. Face off won by Carshield. Kicked forward and picked off by Rubis. He goes around the net up to Blanchard. Blanchard goes back to Rubis. Rubis backhands to Wessel up across the red line. He'll backhand it into the Carshield zone. Stopped there by the goalie, rimmed around. Held in at the point by Rubis. He throws it around the net. Carshield picks it up on the far boards. Glove down by Rubis. He dumps it into the zone again. Wessel tries to chip it deep, but Carshield throws it into the neutral zone. Picked up by Rubis again. This time he'll skate into the Shield zone. Tries to throw a shot towards the net. Deflected wide. Spatansky and Wessel go for it behind the net. It's kicked to Blanchard by Wessel. Wessel goes to Peterson at the point. His shot on net is saved by the goalie. Kicked into the corner. Spatansky picks it up there. Goes to Blanchard. Back up to Peterson. He throws it into the far corner. Chipped by Carshield. Picked up by Spatansky. He's got room at the point. Puts a shot. It's blocked. And here comes Shield out of the zone. They dump it deep and go for a line change. Spatansky will chase after the dump. Carshield spins it around the boards to nobody. Wessel takes a huge high hit. He gets it over to Zoom on the far boards. He tries to go around the net. It's picked off by Carshield. They bring it out in front of the net. Two shots saved by Stutzer. They're still jamming away at it. Still jamming away at it. Finally, the whistle blows. Another face-off in the blue zone. They have Giorgio, Zone, and Boyer on the ice with Brooks and Smith. Scramble draw, pops out to Zilm. He's corkscrewed, goes to the ice, no call. Puck shot on net, picked off by Smith. He throws on the brakes behind his own net, goes to Brooks. Brooks goes around the boards to the near wing. It gets past Boyer out to the neutral zone, and Carshield dumps it in while the players are still in the zone. That faceoff's going to come all the way back, at least to center ice, and maybe, yeah, it'll be at center ice. Blues have the same personnel on the ice. 13:01 left in the third. Loose puck picked up by Boyer. He gathers some speed, dumps it deep, and goes to chase after it. He pucks loose behind the net. He battles with the Carshield defender. Giorgio comes in to help him out. Hip check by Boyer. Puck comes to Brooks. He goes to Smith, who dumps it deep, but Boyer had to go get his stick, and he's caught offsides. So now we'll have another face-off at center ice. Face-off won by the Blues. Boyer tries to go back to Brooks. It hops over his stick, picked up by Smith. Smith goes to Zilm. Zilm gets it to Giorgio, tries to kick it forward, gets past him. Boyer picks up the puck, flips it deep into the Carshield zone. They go D to D, stopped by Zilm on the far boards. He gets it to Giorgio. He's tied up in the corner. Loose puck picked up by Zilm. He's tripped with a knee. No call again. The Blues get it up to Smith. Over to Brooks. Brooks rims it around behind the net. Comes back around to Smith. He dumps it behind the net. Giorgio's tied up there in the corner. Boyer picks up the puck, gets knocked off of it. Carshield flips it up the ice. Guy was in on a breakaway. It rolled off of his stick. Malachi pins him to the boards. Loose puck comes to Giorgio in the middle. Carshield picks it up. Backhander shot wide. Picked up on the near boards by Boyer. He tries to chip it. Gets it to Zilm. Zilm gets the red line and dumps it in. Carshield D. That puck is not touched. For some reason, we wave it off there. That should have been icing on Carshield. They hold it in at the far blue line. Miniman throws a pass, backhand pass across his own zone that's held in by Carshield. Crowley gets it to Bauer, who takes a hit in the back. Carshield holds it in. Komodowski picks it up, goes to D to Miniman. He goes near wing to Bauer. Bauer carries it back into his own zone, goes to Komodowski, who flips it out to center ice. Carshield dumps it in, and it's stopped by Stutzer behind the net. Picked up by Komodowski. He circles back, throws it to Miniman. Miniman goes up the wing to Bowers. Bowers goes cross ice to Bauer. He gains the blue line. He's got Crowley with him. Shot on net, saved by the Shield goalie, and rimmed all the way out of the zone by Carshield. Picked up by Komodowski at his own blue line. He'll circle back with speed, get into the Carshield zone. Tries to do a toe drag around Carshield defender. It's knocked off of his stick. Bauer takes the puck, puts a hit on a Carshield player. Picked up by Bowers. Komodowski goes to Peterson, back to Bowers. He'll try to spin away from the hit. It's knocked off of his stick. He goes up to Peterson at the point, looking for Komodowski. Komodowski throws it on net, caught and held by the Carshield goalie. Blues send out Hubner, Schneider, and Harris with Peterson and Rubis for the offensive zone faceoff. Carshield centers in early and he'll get kicked out. Face-off one to the corner by Carshield. Harris throws a shoulder there. Maintains possession of the puck. Gets it up to Rubis at the point. He tries to find the lane. His shot saved by the goalie. Comes out to the neutral zone. Carshield misses on a pass, and that'll go all the way down the ice for icing. 9:39 left in the third period of a 1-1 game. Same five on the ice for the Blues. Face-off won by the Blues. Harris gets it out to Rubis at the point. He goes back to Harris on the far boards. He tries to spin away from the hit, gets double teamed in the corner. Fugner's over to help him out. Harris gets pulled down with a hook, no call. Carshield dumps it into the blue zone. Schneider back to pick it up. He goes to Peterson. Peterson's up the ice looking for Fugner. He takes a hit, separated from the puck. Carshield carries into the blue zone. Big hip check thrown there by Rubis. And here comes Schneider, 2-on-1. He's got Fugner with him. He finds Fugner, and Fugner roofs it. Blues take a 2-1 lead. Big hip check there by Rubis. Got the Blues possession of the puck. Schneider carried it into the zone and found Fugner wide open in the slot. 2-1 Blues. 9:02 left in the third. Blues send out Spatansky, Wessel, and Blanchard with Brooks and Smith. Face off won by the Blues. Back to Smith, over to Brooks, back to Smith. Smith finds Spatansky at center ice. He goes to Blanchard on the wing. Blanchard tries to go to Wessel in the slot. That pass is blocked. Wessel and Blanchard battle in the corner. Blanchard's getting hooked. He's tied up in the corner. He's still got Wessel helping him. Two Carshield players battle then for the puck. Wessel gets it out, tries to go to the point. He's getting hooked too. Puck goes on net, covered by the Carshield goalie. He throws another slash, couple more cross checks. Can't go within 6 feet of the net around these guys. Same five on the ice for the Blues. Face off tied up at the dot. Carshield takes possession and carries into the neutral zone. They gain the blue line. Shot through Brooks' legs is wide of the net. Blanchard picks up the puck. Taken off his stick by Carshield. Spatansky goes to Smith, over to Brooks. Brooks goes back to Smith. Plays it off of his stick. He goes up to Brooks. Wessel in. He goes to Smith. His shot hits Spatansky in the back. Wessel gets cross-checked behind the play. Carshield's going to get called for an icing here. Ref's looking right at it and just lets it go. Blues send out Giorgio, Zilm, and Boyer with Kamidoski and Miniman. Face off tied up. The Blues have the puck right in front of the Carshield net. It's knocked away and out of the zone. Picked up by Kamidoski. He goes to Miniman. His pass is deflected up the ice into the Carshield zone. They chip it back out to the neutral zone where Miniman tries to get it deep. His clearing attempt is blocked. Carshield backhands it towards the net. Good play there by Boyer to get it to Giorgio. Was picked off by Carshield. They go back behind the Blues net. Kamidoski tries to backhand to Miniman. Spins off his stick. Boyer will chip it up and out of the zone. Not deep enough for icing. Zilm in on the forecheck. Carshield maintains possession at center ice. Good job there by Giorgio to separate his man from the puck. Zilm will dump it deep. Boyer in on the forecheck. Carshield goes up the wing, looking for the outlet. Picked off by Boyer. He throws it back in behind the net and goes for a line change. Bowers is behind the net. Forecheck. Peterson picks it up. His shot's deflected by Bowers. Carshield throws it all the way down the ice, but it's on goal, so Stutzer makes the save and gets it to Rubis. He goes up to Bauer, gets it to Crowley. Crowley to the center of the ice. It's knocked off his stick. Good stick there by Peterson, but Carshield takes over possession and they come out. Good back check there by Brandon Bauer. And there's a delayed penalty on the Blues. So we touch the puck, and it's going to be interference on Brandon Bauer. Must have been before the back check. I'm not sure. So the Blues will have a 2-minute penalty to kill here. They send out Spatansky and Wessel with Peterson and Rubis. That puck's chopped at by Wessel trying to get it out of the zone. Good stick there by Rubis. He goes up, tries to go up the ice to Spatansky. It's knocked down by Carshield. Spatansky gets it, tries to get it up to Wessel. Carshield maintains possession. They circle back into their own zone. Carried up the ice by their defense. Wessel, good hit there by Rubis, takes down the Carshield player. And Carshield's back into their own zone. Here comes Spatansky. He picks off the pass. He's got a shorthanded opportunity. His shot is saved by the goalie, and Carshield gets possession again. Good back check there by Spatansky. Brooks picks it off and shoots it back deep. Forecheck there by Giorgio. He's supported by Zilm at center ice. Blues also have Smith and Brooks on defense right now. 27 seconds left in the penalty. Good save there by Max Stutzer on a backhanded attempt. Carshield keeps possession of the puck. Another save by Stutzer. Carshield has it in the corner. Shot, pass gets deflected to a guy open on the wing, and Carshield's got a power play goal. 2-2, 4:56 left in the third. Blues have Fugner, Schneider, and Harris out with Miniman and Komodowski. Carshield wins the face-off. Back to their defense. He chips it up the board. It's picked off by Fugner. Tipped in by Schneider. Fugner tries to throw it to the net. He takes a high hit. Harris gets it up to Miniman at the point. He throws it wide of the net. It comes to Fugner. He throws it towards the front of the net, and it's covered by the Shield goalie. Have a face-off to his right. Same five on the ice for the Blues. Carshield wins the face-off. Good stick lift by Schneider. Carshield flips it up off the glass and out of play. Face-off will stay in their zone. Carshield wins another face-off. Schneider chases it into the corner. He's helped by Fugner. Held in at the near boards by Harris. Como holds it in at the blue line. Good hit there by Grant Fugner on his guy. Goes back to Miniman. Miniman tries to go up the ice. Gets picked off. Komodowski gets it behind the net to Miniman. Miniman goes up to the point. That shot is screened. Good save by Stutzer on a point-blank rebound. Huge save right there by Stutzer. Keep this game at 2-2. Blues send out Giorgio, Boyer, and Zilm with Peterson and Rubis. Face off one by Carshield. Their shot's blocked over to the far boards. They throw it around behind the Blues net. Picked up in the corner by Peterson. He tries to chip. That gets blocked. Boyer and Giorgio are over with Peterson trying to dig this puck out. It's pinned up against the boards by 5 players. Giorgio comes away with it. He goes to Rubis behind the net. Rubis flips it into the neutral zone. Boyer tries to go deep. Gets past Peterson at the blue line. picked up by Rubis. He spins away from the Carshield forechecker, hops past the Carshield defenseman, and Shield will chip it into the neutral zone where it's picked up by Giorgio. Goes back into his own zone, gets around one, gets stick checked off of his stick. He dumps it into the corner. Carshield goes up the boards. It's picked off by Boyer off of his stick. Comes up to Peterson. Peterson over to Rubis. Rubis throws a shot at the net. Hits Giorgio. Boyer picks it up in the corner. He spins away from the Carshield player. He's got help from Zilm. Zilm goes to Giorgio. Giorgio goes to Peterson at the near point. He's going to throw it down to Zilm. Zilm tries to go to the front for Giorgio. He throws a centering pass. He goes all the way to the far boards. Picked up at the near point by Rubis. He spins away from the check, throws another puck towards the net. Steered to the boards by the goalie. Peterson throws it back in. It goes behind the net. Giorgio will chase after it. He pulls the puck between the legs. His shot goes off the crossbar. Brooks pinches and holds it in, gets it to Wessel. Wessel throws it all the way down, but the Blues are going for a change, and there's nobody on the point. Stutzer sets it up for Smith. He goes over to Brooks. Brooks tries to make a move around one. Stutzer will cover it up. Face off in the blue zone. Blues has Stefanski, Wessel, and Blanchard out with Brooks and Smith. Face off won by Carshield to the point. They throw a shot to the net. Loose puck picked up by Blanchard. It's knocked off his stick. Picked up by Malachi Smith. His clearing attempt's knocked down. Carshield takes it into the corner. Good stick check there by Smith to put it off the Carshield player's stick. He picks it up in the corner, finds Blanchard. Blanchard goes to Wessel. Wessel will chase after it, gets it into the Carshield zone. He spins into a check. There's two Shield players and two Blues players. Spatansky comes away with it. He tries to go to Blanchard. Blanchard gets held up. Here comes Carshield out 2-on-2. Offsides. Plays way offsides. Stutzer makes one save, makes another save. Carshield has the puck at the point. They throw it back behind the net. Wessel throws it to the far boards, trying to hit Blanchard, and they throw it in. That's an intentional offsides. Face-off should go all the way down into the Shield end, but they'll just bring it out to the neutral zone. There's 59 seconds left in the third period. Blues send out Fugner, Schneider, and Harris with Miniman and Kamadoski. Blues win the face-off. Miniman goes to Kamadoski. He goes up to Schneider on the wing. Schneider dumps it into the Carshield zone. Spun around the boards by the Shield goalie. They chip it past Miniman at the point. Picked up by Fugner. Fugner goes to Kamadoski. He goes up the wing to Schneider, who tips it into the Carshield zone again. 38 seconds left on the clock. Carshield backhands it right to Schneider, but it spins off his stick. Fugner helps him in the corner. It's picked up by Harris. Harris has control. He gets it to Fugner. Fugner drives the goal line, spins it through the crease. Miniman throws a shot on net, saved by the goalie. Rebound goes to Harris. He tries to make a move around one Shield player. Puck's tied up on the boards. Schneider and Harris are going to battle for it. 8 seconds left. And this is probably how the regulation's going to end. And we'll go to a shootout. So 2-2 game after 3 periods. All right, looks like we are going to have a 5-on-5 overtime. Yes. All right, so we have a 16-minute overtime period, 5-on-5, just a regular period of hockey here. Blues have Spatansky, Wessel, and Blanchard out with Miniman and Komodowski. Pucks in the neutral zone, dumped deep by Carshield, picked up by Komodowski. He reverses for Miniman. Miniman goes up the wing to Wessel. Wessel goes to Spatansky off the boards. He makes a move, gets hooked. That's got to be a penalty. How is that not a penalty? Picked up by Spatansky in the neutral zone. Unbelievable right there. Good pass by Komodowski. He finds Blanchard. Blanchard to Spatansky. He tries to go to Wessel. Knocked off of his stick into the corner. He finds Blanchard. Blanchard goes to Rubis. Blues maintaining possession here in the Carshield zone. Shot wide by Rubis. Sent to the blue line. It jumps over Peterson's stick all the way down to Stutzer. He sets it up for Rubis. Rubis goes to Fugner. Fugner backhands to Peterson. Peterson into the Shield zone. His shot saved by the Carshield goalie and held on. Blues have Fugner, Schneider, and Harris out with Peterson and Rubis. Shield wins it into the corner, throws it around their own net. Picked off at the far boards by Harris. He dumps it back deep and goes in on the forecheck. He's tied up with two Carshield players. Fugner over to help him. Pops out to the far boards. Carshield tries to flip it out. It's held in by Rubis. He makes a move to the net, spins back out, gets it over to Fugner. Fugner to Peterson. His shot is caught and held by the Shield goalie. So we are in sudden death overtime right now. 14-23. It was a normal 16-minute period. Tied at 2. Blues have Fugner, Schneider, and Harris out with Brooks and Smith. Fugner gets kicked off the dot. Schneider in to take the face off. One into the corner. Their defenseman takes it around, chips it behind his own net. It's picked off by Fugner. He gets it to Harris. Harris up to the point to Smith. Smith over to Brooks. Brooks chips it down the boards to Schneider. Schneider tries to go to Fugner. They're both tied up in the corner. Schneider tries to go up back to the point to Brooks. It's held in by Brooks. Oh, just creeped over the blue line. Blues are offside. Giorgio, Boyer, and Zilm out with Smith and Brooks. Carshield wins the faceoff. They go D to D in their own zone. Clearing attempt tipped by the Blues, and that's going all the way down for icing on Carshield. Giorgio to take the face off. Same 5 Blues on the ice. Won by Giorgio right to Smith. His shot's right on net. Steered into the corner. Boyer goes up to Smith, back down to Boyer. Boyer's got a path to the net. He shoots and scores! Tyson Boyer with the overtime winner. From Malachi Smith, the Blues win 3-2, 13:36 in overtime. Take a 1-0 series lead. So the Blues win this one 3-2 in overtime. Take game 1 of the series. Game 2 will be Tuesday, February 25th in St. Peter's at 8:15. Game 3, if necessary, will be Wednesday, February 25th at 6:20 at Centene. Have a good night.